Welcome everybody to another episode. Today we are back here in Zurich at the Kickstart Accelerator with a startup founder and CEO of EntoCube.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So welcome everybody to another episode. Today I have here Perttu from EntoCube, food tech company here in Zurich. They just joined the Kickstart Accelerator. Give us a little bit background about yourself first.
I'm Perttu, last name Karjalainen from Finland.
Yeah.
26 years old, background in management and business studies. Co-founded EntoCube about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, to solve some of the biggest problems we have on planet Earth right now. One of them are kind of linked to food. And we found a really awesome group of people, really like-minded vision to join started this journey together. It's been very exciting.
Right. Tell me a little bit more about your background. I mean, we have a lot of global startups here. So tell me a little bit about maybe the Finnish startup scene or what you have experienced back in Finland in terms of innovation.
Yeah, I think Finland is considered it's a good hub, and the startup scene is developing quickly. Traditionally, Finns are not known for embracing failure or trying and failing at this kind of mentality, but this is now kind of being generated by this kind of new generation. And what's really cool about the ecosystem in Finland is it's very much run by young professionals. It's run by students. Like for example, Slush, currently the biggest tech conference, or the biggest startup tech conference in Europe, is run by students, organized by students, built by volunteers. So I think it's something in Finland, like we have this thing called talkoot. It's a Finnish word, and basically what a talkoot is, it's a group of people coming together to work on something as a common community without getting paid. Traditional, if you need to fix your house, you would ask people to join in, and now we're kind of using this same kind of mentality to build up the startup scene with this kind of voluntary work. So it's cool.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about your startup. What do you do?
So in EntoCube we do insect farming technologies. A lot of the problems we have are circulating around food.
Yeah.
The global population is increasing. We're going to have close to 10 billion people on this planet in about 35 years, 2050. Also, these people are getting wealthier. There's going to be millions and millions of people who can finally escape poverty, and that's a really, really good thing. It's also very challenging because we know from history that when people go through a threshold when they can start consuming, they will one of the third things that you get is better nutrition. So the meat demand is expected to double. So people need that protein. And already today, meat consumption is one of the leading causes of climate change. About a quarter of the greenhouse emissions comes from the meat industry. So yeah, we have a big problem there. So we need a clever way, a more circular way of producing this protein. And according to FAO, many other experts as well, insects is one of the best solutions for this problem. And this is because insects can be grown with just a fraction of the inputs compared to these other production animals. So we can be super efficient in resources. And we can also use feedstock for the insects that doesn't compete with ours. If you think of what we feed production animals today, it's mostly grains and soy, it's things that we could also eat. But we can feed the insects with things that we are currently wasting.
Okay.
To see it out of the food system, we can put it back in. And at EntoCube, we developed the technology to do this locally anywhere in the world, to harness this potential, the kind of biological superiority of these insects as production animals so that it's accessible.
So give me just a real life example. I have my garden and then I use your technology and then I get the insects.
Yeah.
Exactly. I said it correctly.
Yeah. So we have a ready product in the form of a shipping container.
Yeah.
So it's the container form. We call it the EntoCube. It's a turnkey solution. So you get a container. It comes with all of the tools you need. It comes with a manual. It comes with everything that you need to start farming. And then you need feed for the insects. You need to power the container to maintain a microclimate in which the insects are they are well and they grow fast. And then you need to work there to operate the container. So yeah, you just get the thing and in the case of an urban garden, you probably produce a lot of inedible plant matter. Let's say you grow tomatoes, you can't eat the leaves, feed them to the insects, as an example.
Very cool. So tell me, where do you said you just finished developing? Tell me a little bit about, I always like to ask a little bit about the challenges of startups. Where do you see currently your challenges?
Our challenges, well, the massive challenge comes from the fact that this industry is just starting out.
Yeah.
Like insects have been eaten for a long time. Like 2 billion people eat insects. 2,000 different kinds of species are
China
eaten.
and Japan, it's very big.
Yeah, and especially Thailand, but actually almost everywhere except Europe.
Okay.
And even in Europe we have the Italian maggot cheese and like these kinds of things. And there's some record of the war times people kind of go into this. People usually often think that insects is a last resort kind of food. The thing you eat when all other has gone, war has reached the country and there's nothing left, and then you start eating the worms. Yeah. But actually insects are a delicacy in most of the cultures where they're eaten. They're appreciated a lot and they're seasonal. A bit like crayfish, like crayfish, like the small crabs. We love them in Finland, like we have the season in the early autumn. But it's a bit like that. You have the season, now the locusts come and then you gather them and you enjoy them, but it only lasts for a while.
Tell me about you. When did you start this venture? How long ago?
2014-15, in the turn of the year, was when we incorporated.
Right. So tell me, how is it to be, like, let's say, the founder of a startup? When you, like, a lot of my audience there are startups themselves, so they're investing in startups. Tell me, what do you recommend startups, or someone who is thinking of starting, or encouragement for a startup, or other startup?
I'm not sure I'd recommend it, but I think for the people who should do it, don't need that.
So basically, if you know that you are you're one of them, then you should do it. Otherwise, leave it.
I think like, if you think that it could be your thing, I think it's worth a try. Like I think you should try everything.
Yeah.
But also there's a lot of hype about startups being like, okay, you have your corporate life, dull, boring, old, and then you have your startup life, which is something new and exciting and like magic happens. But both of these. It's about building a business.
Absolutely.
And that's also something we have kind of had to learn, because we were very vision-centric, we were very mission-centric, and on like this grand challenge of saving the planet. Like that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But then you face the reality that, hey, you have to build a business of it. Otherwise, like if you can't make a business of it, you can't do this. You need to, because otherwise you have to get a different job, and this becomes an NGO. And we really believe that business can have a much greater impact. If it's profitable for all parties, it can really drive something a lot big. But then you have to figure out how do you make that work. That's super hard. And in the end, startups become corporations. So I would maybe avoid this duality a little.
Right. So one last sentence about Zurich and startups and innovation. What do you perceive here, the situation?
Oh, beautiful city. I like the initiative, the Digital Zurich 2025. I think it's a good thing to do.
Very good.
Yeah, and this is a very global phenomenon. Like in the past couple of years, I've been to China and India and Sri Lanka, around Europe. Every country wants to be the startup hub of 2025 or 2030 or whatever. And I think this is very much a global phenomenon where, like, there's something happening. Maybe it's the industry 4.0 stuff that people talk about, but that maybe this will be the new way of doing things.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you very much, EntoCube, for showing us and presenting us a little bit with your startup. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon with another episode. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks.